Hey, welcome to Product Strategy. Today we'll look at Carrot Budget. So, yeah, most of the stuff for Carrot has been from Federico's mind. So, the only thing that I have done is basically like structure this in the template that we have. Um, there is. Sorry. Cool. So now I have this budget document. I'll just go through this. So right now, the Carrot squad looks like this. We have Federico leading the Carrot operations. He's working about 25 hours a week. Paulo is working about 10 hours a week right now, but then I think there's a possibility of him increasing his hours later in the first half of next year. And then Diogo is the front-end developer that's working. Boris is the designer, and then I'm going to be working on Carrot as well. So this is how the squads look like. Yeah, pretty lean. And then there are like other costs. The event stipend I have calculated based upon the contributors. Audit, we don't know yet about audits, but I have put in like a budget of 25K. Uh, we have to check with uh, Augusto and maybe with the Omega team how much it would cost. We are not looking at any new audits right now, but then if we are going to increase the kind of templates that we have for Carrot, then we might need to increase the audit, RPC costs, and then server costs, data hosting, and then yeah, have added a small contingency budget for contributor level ups and then for QA. Yeah, this is how the governance look like, and I can already see that I have missed Boris here. Now we will go back to the document. Yeah, so vision and mission. I used a bit of ChatGPT to write out a mission. I gave all the details about what Carrot is, what community-based incentive platform is, and then it gave me a vision that I have updated here. It's a community-driven platform that empowers individuals and orgs to incentivize and reward positive behaviors and outcomes through customizable, transparent, and equitable conditional incentives. And we want to enable where individuals and DAOs are motivated and rewarded through permissionless conditional tokens. So this is actually from ChatGPT. And then some of the guild milestones and goals. The biggest milestone that we want to do is like launching Carrot V1 with the new front end, like good designs that uh, Dirk and Boris have created, and we want to get that out as soon as possible. And we also want to get the ERC20 KPI token template out. We want to have this reality.eth oracle integrated within Carrot. And this is one of the major things where we wanted to integrate Gelato, where we will be able to finalize automatically. So if an answer is accepted or rejected in reality.eth, it automatically finalizes it instead of somebody going in and then pressing this finalize button that happens right now. Apart from this, we also would want to explore the possibilities of having Chainlink as an oracle and also Uniswap TWAP as an oracle. The guild will work closely with voice and operations to support the plan and execution of the go-to-market strategy for Carrot. Budget summary. So at the current state, it looks like the monthly contributor costs about 18K. plus 3K that includes some infra costs and QA. So it comes to about 22K monthly. And the guild is asking for a 3-month funding of 65K. From comparison, the way that it looks like, the monthly regular costs in 2022 has been about 16,000, and now it is currently 21,000 for the first half of the year. Some of the squad metrics, the first objective is we want to launch Carrot V1, and since this is pre go live, the key results are basically about ERC20 token template that is being created, documentation about how around the token, what Carrot is, all those are created, and then making sure that we have a Gelato integration. So these are some of the key results. And then the second objective, I think this is up for discussion now. So increasing adoption for Carrot. So I have 3 key results that I have added here. So having at least 3 launch partners, I think it might be good for Carrot. So it is also validated if there are some launch partners that have some of these incentive campaigns created. 2,500 unique addresses if they take part in this new Carrot campaigns might be good. I don't know if 2,500 is large or small, but yeah, I mean, upon discussion we can bring this up or down, increase or decrease this number basically. And then also added if it is possible to target like 3 campaigns worth 1 million TVL. I also don't know how feasible this is, but then if we go with 3 launch partners and then if we have like 5 or 6 campaigns with them, might be good if we can have like 3 campaigns that are worth 1 million TVL. Maybe this is low, high, but again, this is up for discussion. Guild personnel is Federico, Paulo. Yeah, this same as what I had earlier mentioned from the spreadsheet. One other thing that we wanted to do was we wanted to add like a shipping bonus for this. So we want the DAO to release like 60K USDC. We could discuss like what this is as a bonus to the guild personnel upon successful delivery of Carrot before April. And also we want to add like a portion of this to the voice, where if we are able to successfully lead and direct the sales and marketing launch strategy. Yeah, that's basically it. This is probably simpler to understand and go through than it was for Swapr.
Yeah,
any questions?
My only questions would be, yeah, like having some key results. I would say launch partners is a tricky term, rather than when this thing is ready, we have 3 users of it for some campaigns. The problem with getting people lined up ahead of time when launch, like when products do that, like public launches, the product's already actually done and like is used in like beta, is used in internally. Like we need to use it a bunch, and like, well, we used the last Carrot version, and we're going to want to use Carrot V1, and we're going to want to let people use it secretly, but it's not secret because nothing's secret. And then like, if it's working and it's being used and it actually does what it's supposed to do, we could get people interested and line up some larger use cases of it, and like when we officially announce it to the world and it comes out of beta kind of thing, we could consider those launch partners. I don't know if that would all happen in the next 6 months, but for sure, like getting 3 users to use Carrot V1 would be awesome as a key result. I wouldn't say I wouldn't call them launch partners. Number of addresses depending on the size of the campaigns, and then 3 campaigns, which would be for the users. Totally, I'd say $1 million of TVL in a single campaign is too big. We've never had anything close to that. So even if we get some good communities using it and a whole bunch of them using it for smaller test trial ones, even if it's not $1 million, would still be good. And then as it proves itself as like a valuable product to communities and incentivizing certain things, and the oracles are working and the settlements are working and all that kind of stuff, then we would look to have like a pretty sizable campaign with an important user of Carrot. But 1 million TVL would, I'd say, come in the 6 months after that, because at this point, even having using a usable Carrot V1 and using it for ourselves and seeing if it actually even works and how it works and how things settle, that's the most important thing. It's a similar situation with Davi. And then obviously Swapr is further along already, so that's different. But with any changes to Swapr, or if like Zapper came out or something, that's similar. But I think this is a good overview, but I would just say those 3 things about the actual things we want to accomplish in what is most likely the 3 to 6 month period from now.
Okay.
I don't know if other people have different opinions, but
yeah, I guess before I touch on that, I do just want to kind of talk about the thing at the end where there's this like shipping bonus. I think regardless of what the number is or the milestone, I think that's something I'm interested in exploring with the Carrot Guild specifically. Yeah, I think partially because of how development has kind of been driven primarily by Federico. And if you look at like the development cost of Carrot, right, it's including the audit, right, it's probably around like less than $300,000 over the last year. So it has been a cost efficient way. And I think when we think about how we can fund product development and attract top talent, I think the shipping bonus component is an interesting component of it. So I don't know exactly what the wording is in this budget, but something that hints at that. And then of course, any actual bonus will then need to be like approved by DXDAO governance because it's a contingency cost. But I definitely support having something in this budget on that. In kind of to Sky's point about, I guess the second half of the key results, which is really about like market adoption or getting onboarding projects. I like thinking about it because I do think we're going to see Carrot start to be in that position based upon like we're looking at how things are now, that it will be in that position starting, in 3 to 4 to 5 months. I think it is hard to pick specific milestones now without seeing that. When I see Carrot, it's because it's like a tool for projects to use. I think it will be hard to predict exactly how Carrot will be used. And one of the strengths, I think, of Carrot, and this is what I think is going into this design of V1, right, is that it is permissionless. So anyone can kind of come in and figure out how to use Carrot best. So I think a lot of what the first few months of Carrot are going to be trying to encourage as much experimentation of Carrot because it is permissionless and because people are still trying to do those things. And so, maybe the experimentation phase will take a little bit longer to figure out what the product market fit is for Carrot, just because there really isn't anything on the market like it right now. So I think we should be patient in allowing for that experimentation phase, but we should also be active in trying to encourage experimentation and then doing experimentation ourselves through the Voice Guild. And so my suggestion here would be kind of what I said, I think, to the Voice Guild. Like, maybe you don't need to say the specific partners or numbers in this, but commit to reporting back and saying what the plan is 3 months from now. And in 3 months from now, like, things will be in, we'll have a little bit more knowledge and be able to like make a decision then with a bit more specificity. So that might be a way to kind of commit to it without committing yourself to some specific target without knowing exactly what.
Makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I will update this and reword it. But yeah, to me, what I was. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Mankey. Yeah, I would maybe even add, like, when Carrot V1 is ready, DXDAO itself for a whole different, and we did this with Carrot before, but DXDAO will actually use it a whole bunch of use cases. Like DXDAO should have 3 of its own use cases for Carrot V1. Then others will use similar or other cases that would be specific to them. And that it ties in with the experimentation that Chris is talking about. But like the number one user from the minute this thing starts working, is able to be worked, will be DXDAO's use cases. So that can be included as a key result for sure. I think.
And I'm just like thinking, just
like when though too. Yeah,
just to run that through. I mean, we have this, I guess the shipping bonus here that you're talking about. Like, obviously, we could make that a carrot, right? And then the benefit being that you say you've got 50K collateral in a carrot if a certain milestone is met, but then the Carrot Guild has those tokens already, right? And they can distribute those to whoever they want to incentivize like the production of that. And so that token, of course, will only pay out if it's met, but the Carrot Guild would have control of distributing that token there. So we could think about doing it there. But yeah, I agree. There's some experimentation that should be led.
Is that using current Carrot?
I mean, I'm not saying, I'm just saying that's an example of what we could do.
Yeah.
Maybe we need V1, but like, yeah.
Well, I mean, we could use current Carrot Alpha in order to incentivize with Carrot's V1 delivery.
Yeah, I think we need to think a little bit more about what that like milestone shipping bonus is, and yeah, and then kind of make that decision later on.
Yeah, I mean, this is only like an intent where we wanted to try out this shipping bonus and then try to see how we could separate this across squads as well, and would be good to just try this out with Carrot, which is meant to be built for that. Cool. Any questions?
I guess before you had maybe some other, I guess there weren't actually even really any other contingency costs for people on this, right?
No.
Yeah. No. And which is not saying it needs to, but it's more of like, I guess there's not a need much to expand it more, because it will launch and then it'll probably need upkeep, and kind of Federico will be there for that. But and then maybe the expansion is more on like the voice side of things, that there needs to be more work there. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, hearing Federico, the way that it would work is like when we launched V1, I think it would be more about expanding to different kind of oracles, and then expanding and creating new kind of templates, and yeah, and then you see how the community is using it, and then creating their own templates, and helping the community is how he's envisioning the way Carrot would go towards.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why we haven't added any kind of contingency, because the development of V1 will still motor to mid-April, I think.
Yeah, as we know with products, when we say it's not like on a day it launches and the whole thing is done, and then all we have to do is add like new oracles and new templates. There's a decent chance that when it's ready to launch, a lot more work needs to be done to get it out of like the very basic skeleton version to the actual working version that makes it a product. And that can take many, many months for sure.
Yeah, 100%, Dirk. Cool. Any other questions? No. If not, I will move to Swapr. Or does anybody else have anything else to discuss? How to prep something for Swapr first. So it'll take like a couple of minutes. All right, let's go for Swapr now. This is V3. So for Swapr, I already updated. I already updated one version of the budget, and then this is another version of the budget, which I would post after the call and discussion that we have over here. So basically the budget has been yeah, I will be contributing to Carrot, so there is some kind of reduction for Swapr from its budget, and then I have also reduced the level of the senior Solidity developer that we are looking for, and I have added Kenny Fork here for taking care of some of the governance initiatives that we will try to bring value to Swapr. So these are some of the changes that I have done to the Swapr budget. And then I realized there is another problem, is if we do the budget here, then it says that Swapr is asking DXDAO for 72,000. But then if we look at how the split is for Jan and Feb, there is a lot of resources, but then from March to June, the budget changes. So for instance, the regular costs here, I don't know why it is incorrect. Maybe there's a wrong formula. The regular costs here, it is 33,000 monthly for Swapr in Jan and Feb, whereas it reduces to about 15,000 from March to June. And so what I did was I calculated like the regular stables for each of the month, and then I need to ask the DAO a budget of 82,740 instead of just dividing it by 2, if that makes sense. Did I explain it properly, or Chris, do you understand?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. I'm not sure if other people do, but I noticed this too. It doesn't. The other guilds, it affects it a little bit,
yeah,
but not enough. I think where you need to do the funding amount
Yeah.
change. But for Swapr, it does, because there are different ones for the first 2 months or first 3 months. Yeah. I would just like, I would note that.
Should I just put this in the?
It's not a big deal. I'm just thinking how to note it. I would note it in the like I would just change like hard code that 72K number to 82,740, and then just make a note in the doc.
Okay.
Cool. And just Sky's asking when will guilds be asking DXstyle for funds? Yeah, I mean the plan is to get the budgets approved before the end of the year here. And I think we're on hopefully on track for all of those, and then to do a mainnet funding proposal at the beginning of the year that is a funding proposal for all of the guilds. So it will, because most of the guilds will be funded on Gnosis Chain. So it will reference each of the past guild budgets, and then it'll probably be, I think it'll be like $500,000 total, and then it'll transfer that to Gnosis Chain and into the specific guilds there that have already been approved, and then it'll also put some extra money in Gnosis Chain base for other smaller things to be approved. So yeah, I guess
the on-chain mainnet proposal will take a full amount and give it to like the base on Gnosis Chain, and then the guilds ask the base there, or directly?
Directly in the guild, yeah. Because it'll basically, it's going to be like, there will be like
directly into mainnet guilds.
Yeah, yeah. And like, I mean, if you look, no. So into Gnosis Chain guilds, because most of the guilds themselves will be managed on Gnosis Chain.
But where are the funds originating? Mainnet.
That's why there will be one mainnet proposal that takes in $450,000, bridges it to Gnosis Chain, and then deposits it into the 5 guilds.
The proposal is not going to, but you mean who's going to execute that?
We bridge funds to Gnosis Chain all the time. We'll do it in multi-sig, right? So I don't.
Oh, do it with a multi. We're going to do it with a multi-sig. Okay.
So it'll be one proposal. It'll have actually 6 different sources of destination. 5 of them will be guilds, and then 1 will be Gnosis Chain DXstyle for like, I don't know, $50,000, $75,000 just to have some additional funds in there. And then we'll have a multi-sig that bridges it across and then deposits it into those. But that mainnet proposal will reference the past budgets. Yeah, that's the other bridging thing possibility. Although 0.5%.
Yeah, I was picturing guilds are set up and guilds do proposals to some DXstyle base, and then get the funds directly from the DXstyle base. But
yeah, that's what I was hoping too. But kind of talking with Ross, I don't think, because basically then you would have to set up a mainnet version for all of them, and then you'd have to bridge through the guild, and I don't think the guild. I think maybe it can bridge yet. I'm not sure. But I didn't want to set up all of the mainnet ones right now.
Huh.
Cool. That's all I had for Swapr as well. Any questions, Carrot, Swapr?
Thanks for putting these together, Venki, doing both of them. Kind of stepping up.
No problem. Right. What next?
Yeah, I don't know if there's any other thought. I guess the voice one is still out. I think that's maybe ready to go. There was some adjustments I know last week and then earlier in the week. And then, yeah, but I think probably the Venki, I imagine like Swapr and Kara can go probably to proposal like early next week once this sits in the forum for a bit, or maybe Carrot is a little bit longer just because that's just out there. but I think that's not as controversial. So yeah, I don't know if there's any other questions about voice or the DXGov and operations one.
Dirk Dow in the chat.
Dirk Dow. We're waiting on Dirk Dow. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, maybe I can quickly add to that we had a lot of language change on the voice side, particularly from DX Voice. Before we post ours, I think it's close. Sky, I'd love to sync up. I know we talked about it. We didn't formalize a time. Would love to run through some of the DX Biz side and have that kind of reflect the changes that we made. Besides that, we're pretty close as well, I think.
Cool. Yeah, any other things on the mind? I guess I think we probably don't need for the next at least